I'm willing to bet that the Z750 provides more external audio controls and menu options than any camera you've ever used before. If you took away all the video features from the camera, you'd still be left with a pretty impressive audio device that can record 4 channels of high-quality 24-bit 48 kHz sound. As I mentioned earlier, there are 5 potential sources of audio input. The 5-pin XLR stereo connector at the front, XLR input number 1 and XLR input number 2 at the rear of the camera, and a slot for a wireless audio receiver that can be used to receive digital signals from 2 transmitters at once. These 5 inputs can be routed without hardly any restrictions at all to any of the 4 channels. Under a protective door, you'll find about a dozen external switches, knobs, and dials for configuring the settings of all 4 channels without having to dive into the menus. The levels of all 4 channels can be monitored on the flip-out LCD screen on the side of the camera. Additionally, channels 1 and 2 can be seen at the bottom of the viewfinder. In the camera's default mode, the recording level of the shotgun mic can be adjusted manually using the recessed recording level knob under the lens, which makes it really easy to adjust levels on the fly during handheld shooting without ever taking your eye away from the viewfinder. The 2 XLR connectors at the rear can be set for regular analog input or digital. When AES EBU is selected, each of the XLR connectors can handle 2 digital audio channels, thus making it possible to bring in 4 different sources using nothing more than these 2 connectors. There's even a 5-pin XLR connector for stereo output and monitoring. Not surprisingly, there's a headphone jack over here. But something you don't see too often anymore, on the side of the camera, there are physical switches for configuring how the 4 audio channels are monitored, plus a headphone volume knob. Imagine that, an external headphone volume knob. If I had told you 10 years ago that in 2020 these features would be unusual, you wouldn't have believed me. As you can see, the Z750 and Z450 really are revolutionary cameras, and I've only scratched the surface of their amazing features and capabilities. To help flatten the learning curve for other camera operators, I've published a 400-page in-depth book that covers pretty much everything you need to know in order to get up and running quickly with either of these 2 cameras. Chapters include scene files, S-Log, recording formats, audio, live streaming, and everything in between. With over 35 years of experience in television production, I know what information an operator needs to have, what settings on the camera are going to provide the best results, and just as importantly, I know how to teach others what I have spent months learning. So whether you're an owner or a renter or a freelancer hired to operate a Z750 or Z450, I hope my book will give you the inside edge that you need to become quickly proficient with either of these 2 cameras. Thanks for watching and happy shooting.